Hello and welcome to another session where we get a chance to talk to some of the great musicians in the Detroit area. And today we're very fortunate to have Barb Ware with us. Barb is an outstanding vocalist, I would say first call vocalist in the Detroit area. Welcome to our show, Barb.
Thank you for having me.
It's great having you here. And today, you know, we got a special occasion. We're here at the Petoskey at the Terrace Inn, where we have a chance to play some jazz all weekend. You happen to be in the group that's playing with Dave Tatro and Dave Bennett and a bunch of guys. Yeah. So what a great opportunity.
This is a fun weekend for me.
It's a great weekend.
Yeah.
And here we are sitting on the porch of the Terrace Inn in Petoskey. It's beautiful weather outside. Maybe a little chilly, but not bad.
Yeah.
So tell us about your singing career. I mean, you got started at a very early age, correct?
No.
No.
No. I didn't start singing seriously until after I retired.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you must have had an interest in jazz early on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love to sing, and I've always been interested in music, and there was always music at our house, you know.
Yeah.
We didn't have income to go out, and so we had radio. We listened to music on the radio and records, but yeah, there was always music. And I always, I always sang.
Yeah. And did you ever sing in a church group or anything like that?
Yes, I sang in the choir at church.
Okay.
And my mother was a nurse at Herman Kiefer Hospital, and
Okay.
they had a choir, a group there, and they would have different programs because it was a tuberculosis sanitarium.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And when they would have programs for their patients, my mother would take me there, and I would sing. And I'll tell you a story. When I wanted to take piano lessons, see, I don't read music.
Okay.
So I wanted to take piano lessons. And there was a place downtown Detroit on Woodward called Grinnell's. So my mother took me there, and we were talking to the guy about piano lessons, and they made all the arrangements. And then he told my mother, he said, well, she has to practice at least an hour a day. And my mother says, I can't bring her here an hour every. He says, oh no, she can't come here to practice. She'll have to practice at home.
Oh yeah.
We don't have a piano.
Oh no.
So that was the end of my piano lessons.
Oh man, that would have been such a great thing for you, because then you'd learn learn to read music and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
So you got started at an early age actually enjoying music, but when did you actually start? You when you went to this place where your mother worked, did you sing as a soloist?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And with a backup or just solo?
Just a cappella.
Just you?
Yeah, just me.
That's great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, one thing we had a little discussion last night. One thing that blows my mind is that you said that you know the words to about 500 different songs, which is fantastic to me.
Let's see. I'll show you my. Now let's go up.
That's amazing. So you have 500 different songs
it's about there on my home computer. It's 500. I think there's only about 488 on there.
And you know all the words to all of these songs.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I can't. You can't just pick a song and say, I'll have to kind of look at the chart and then it'll come back to me. But once I learn a song.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Remember it. It's just a gift.
That's fantastic.
Two things I love: music and poetry, and that's what it is.
It works.
Yeah,
it works together very well, doesn't it? Well, tell me about we were talking last night a little bit about your early experience with some of the jazz musicians in the Detroit area.
Yeah.
Going to some of the clubs. Well,
there was a club down on 12th Street, Klein Show Bar. And then on Dexter, there was the minor key and the drone. Uh-huh. And my girlfriend and I, we weren't old enough, but we were kind of cute. And they would let us in. Yeah. So we could go in and listen to the music. And that's how I met a lot of musicians. Well, drummer Louis Hayes and I, we grew up in the same neighborhood, so that's how I knew him.
Okay.
But the other musicians that I met and became friendly with, I met from going to the different clubs.
Right. So who are some of these musicians that you got to meet? I mean, some of the famous names that kind of moved on, from the Detroit area?
Well, Lewis Hayes, drummer Lewis Hayes,
Right.
he got a call from Horace Silver. I think Lewis was like 19 when he went to New York with Horace Silver.
Really? Wow.
But name escapes me, Tommy Flanagan, Yusef, they all played at Klein's,
Really?
And then after, when they left town, when they would come back to town, like when Lewis would come back to town, like he was with Cannonball Adderley,
Wow.
and they would work at Baker's, and then after they closed, they just wanted to go places, and there were places like the West End, which was in Delray, and it was a little hotel near some railroad tracks. I don't really remember exactly. I just knew how to get there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I had a car, so I would drive them. They just wanted to go somewhere where they could play music after they finished their regular job.
So you picked up these musicians and brought them to these jams, these all-night jam sessions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Did you get
Yeah.
a chance to sing with
Nope,
these
I
groups,
wasn't
or you
doing
just?
it. I wasn't doing a lot of singing then.
But you were
Yeah.
getting a good feel for what jazz was
Right.
all about.
Yes.
And improv, what was all about,
Right.
and you were hearing real jazz,
Right.
and it was from the cream of the crop, basically, in the Detroit
Because
area, right?
most of those guys, like Lewis and Tommy Flanagan and Yusef, they eventually left,
Yeah.
But you could go down on 12th Street to Klein's Show Bar and you could hear them on the weekends. They
Wow.
were playing music.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, when did you actually start as a vocalist singing with jazz groups?
After, I started a little when I was still working, and then I got serious about it after I retired. But before, I would go and sit in, like Bert's
Yeah.
down in Eastern Market, I'd go and sit in. Different places. I can't remember the name of that place where I used to sit in with Matt Michaels. And
Oh, Matt, yeah.
Yeah, and then musicians would start calling me if they needed a vocalist.
Right,
That
right.
was how I kind of eased my way in.
So you worked in
Because
through
I'm-
basically going to jam sessions
Yeah,
and
sitting in.
Sitting in
Yeah.
occasionally.
Or
And,
if they had an open mic someplace, I would go.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't do this until after you retired?
Seriously, no, I didn't.
Really?
I didn't. No.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. See,
Wow.
I had to work. See, I had a baby when I was in high school, so
Oh,
I
did you?
had to work.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Right, right.
So, and I couldn't leave him and go to New York or anywhere.
Right,
You know.
right.
But so that's what I did. And then when I retired, I said, I need to do this seriously. And I've been very, very lucky because I started working with Matt Michaels,
Yeah.
who taught me a lot about learning my key signatures and,
Yeah.
and knowing, my tunes and,
Knowing the
he,
tempos and
he knew, he said, you know a lot of tunes. I said, yeah, but I'm not sure what key. He said, that's what you got to learn. You got to learn what keys you sing these tunes in. You get yourself a list because
Right.
if somebody asked you to come up and sing and you say, I want to sing so-and-so, but you don't know the key you sing it in. He said, that's going to irritate a lot of musicians. So
It
you
is.
need to know what key you sing the tunes in.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
that's when I started learning all my key signatures and making myself a list
Right,
of all the
right.
tunes. Every time I'd get a new tune and learn a new key, I'd put it on my list.
Uh-huh.
So,
With the key.
right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's interesting because I attend this jazz camp down in New Orleans, and there is a vocal section in that camp led by Banu Gibson. I don't know if you've heard of Banu,
No.
but she is a professional singer that sings a lot, and she gives a complete seminar on how a vocalist should work with the band, and which is terrific because she says you don't just walk up and say I want to do this tune and tell the band to play it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to tell them what key it's in. You got to tell them what tempo it's in.
Right.
And you got to tell them what style you want to play it in.
Yeah.
So, and then when you do that, then you got to give give them the tempo, And it's really an educational thing for a lot of vocalists who really don't know the business yet.
Yeah,
And
but
you've
most
picked
of
that
that
up.
I learned from Matt Michaels. You know, he told
Matt-
me about learning my keys,
Yeah.
and you know, and learning my tempos. And another great piano player is Cliff Monear.
Oh.
And he, you know, he's the one that, you know, he says, you know, you can do all of these tunes. Learn how to do them in different, you know, if you want to do it kind of a calypso, or you're going to do it kind of bluesy, you can do that, you know.
You can change it up,
Yeah,
so
you
so
can
it's a
change
whole
it up.
different feel, can't
Right,
you?
yeah.
So yeah, we do that a lot with some of the jazz tunes, like Autumn Leaves. You can play it, you know, you can play it standard, or you can play it Latin, or you can, you know,
Yeah.
a lot
And
of different.
Some tunes that I always sang in as a ballad, as a nice slow ballad, and Cliff Monear, who is fantastic on the piano, he said, let's kind of swing this, kind of easy, you know?
Yeah.
And then that was one of the ways that I learned how to kind of transition from what I was doing to other.
Yeah.
There are some tunes I still like to do as ballads, but at times, you know, depending on how you feel, you might want to swing it a little.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It adds a lot of variety to what
Right.
you know, what people do as a vocalist.
Yeah.
So, you've been working with a lot of different groups. I mean, you don't have a single group that you work with. Like this weekend, you're working with Dave Tatro in his group, and we're going to roll in a video on this, by the way, of you and Cliff doing your thing.
I'm really comfortable with Cliff because we're kind of on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
And
Well, he's an absolutely terrific accompanist.
he loves to play the piano,
Yeah.
and you can tell.
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know, it's an art to be able to accompany a vocalist and do it well. A lot of musicians tend to overplay when they're backing a musician or a vocalist.
There are a lot of fantastic piano players, but not a lot of good accompanists.
Exactly what I
And Cliff
exactly.
is a great accompanist.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Because piano players, if they know the song, if they like the song, then they're listening to themselves. They aren't listening to you.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, they
and
want
you
to be the
can-
show, right?
Right.
And
I don't think it's only that they want to be the show. It's just that if this is a song they like and they like playing it, then they just go off on their
Right.
own, you know, on their own thing.
And in the meanwhile, they're covering you up as a vocalist, right?
Then they finally say, "Oh, I got a singer here. Let me get back to
Yeah.
the bridge so she can come and finish the song." But yeah,
Well, let's watch a video right now of you and Cliff playing some music.
okay.
You love me, then you snub me. But what can I do? I'm so in love with you. I guess I'll never see the light. I get the blues about every night since I fell for you.
Yeah.
then you snub me. But what can I do? I'm so in love with you. I guess I'll never see the light. I get the blues about every night since I fell for you. Since I fell for you.
Wow, that was fantastic. I love your vocals, man. This is terrific stuff.
Yeah, I love to sing. I love
Yeah.
to sing.
Yeah,
That's-
anyway, so what do you do for to study these tunes? I mean, do you pick up new tunes a lot, or do you just kind of work with the tunes the 500 tunes that you have in your book?
There are so many beautiful old songs, and I keep my Pandora on my phone, and I
Yeah.
listen to all that. I put on jazz station, and so I hear these tunes, and I say, "Oh, I know that tune. I gotta add it to my list."
Right.
And if I hear a tune and it speaks to me, and if I listen to it a couple of times, I'll remember the lyric.
That's
and,
fantastic.
It's just a gift. I can't
Yeah.
explain it. If I hear a tune more than 2 or 3 times and I like the tune, I'll remember it.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because
And then I'll call Cliff and I'll say, "Cliff, what key do I sing this in?" And then I'll sing it to him over the phone, and he'll say, "Oh, that's A flat, or that's B flat, or
Okay.
and he'll tell me, and I'll put it on the list and
Yeah,
put the
there
key
you go.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Wow. So all of these gigs that you're playing now that you're retired, right? How long have you been retired, by the way?
Oh, over 10 years.
Oh, that's
10
great.
years, 10, 15 years, yeah.
I've retired now almost as long as I worked. I retired in '96, so it's great. It's a great life, right?
Yeah,
So anyway, we need people to keep working to pay our Social Security, right?
right.
So anyway, is there any? Tell me about some of the other musicians you worked with. I know you work with Cliff a lot. Do you work with
Matt Michaels.
Matt Michaels? Was
Yeah, I was lucky enough when I first started singing.
so he was like a mentor to you.
Yeah, he really was.
Uh-huh.
And who? Geez, I got a brain freeze. I can't. Names don't come back to me right
Well,
away. But
welcome to the club.
The two was Matt Michaels and
Cliff.
Yeah, and Cliff. Jerry McKenzie went at the Matt Michaels Trio. And the first CDs I made were with the Matt Michaels Trio.
Right.
Matt, Jerry McKenzie, Dan. Tell me Dan's last name. Bass player. I can't think of Dan's last name,
Oh.
but they were in the trio. And Johnny Trudell.
Oh yeah,
He was on
Johnny
there.
Trudell.
Yeah.
Right.
We made, I think we made 3 CDs together.
Did you really?
Yeah. we
With a
made
small
3
group or with a
CDs.
big band?
No, that was it. Matt, Dan, Jerry, and that was it. And Johnny, that was it. And then the next CDs I made were with Cliff Monear,
Right.
his trio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit earlier about CDs. CDs are kind of going away now, right?
Yeah.
And
People are downloading music.
downloading all this
yeah,
music
so
now.
I got a basement of CDs. And people aren't buying them. Jerry asked me somebody asked him about this one CD, My Shining Hour, that we made. Said somebody had asked him for. I said, listen, if somebody wants to hear, they'll give it to them because
Yeah.
nobody's buying CDs. But if they want to listen to us,
yeah.
give them the CDs. So I brought him some.
So the music industry has really changed. It's gone away
lot.
from CDs, and now everything is kind of like a download MP3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and I'm technically
Well-
retarded, so I'm not very good at that computer type technical stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well, a lot of artists aren't. They're artists because they're artists, and
Right.
they don't, mess around with all this technical stuff.
some of us are good at it. Somebody was telling me that Olivia is very good at that.
Olivia Van Gore is
Yeah.
outstanding. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's up on all of the latest technology, and she does a great job with marketing herself.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, another fantastic piano player, Pat Cronley.
Oh, yeah.
He was doing a project, and he included Olivia and myself together. I don't know how he put us together, but he put us together on the song Skylark. I
Really?
haven't heard. Yeah.
Oh,
I
that
haven't
should be
heard it,
fantastic.
but he says when he gets this project all together, he'll let me hear it. But I don't know how he did it, but I sang a Skylark, and then he had Olivia come in, and then she sang something.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know how he put it together, but I'm sure it'll be good. Pat's fantastic piano player.
Oh yeah. Another guy, no music, just sits and plays, right?
Right.
So, is there anything else you'd like to talk about before we kind of wrap this up?
No, I think we kind of covered it.
Well, you do a fantastic job. I got to say, I'm enjoying your singing here this weekend, and I'm sure we'll get to hear you a lot more in the future. Because
I hope so.
You do a
because
great job.
This is what I love to do. I love to sing.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, I don't like to hear actors say I don't watch myself." I love to hear myself sing. I love to sing, and
That's
when
great.
people enjoy it, it makes my heart.
Yeah, great. Well, we're going to go out with another one of your tunes. So
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been great.
Thanks
Just
for
talking to you and
asking
having
me.
some old memories and talking about some of the great players in the Detroit area that you've worked with.
Yeah, these guys, like myself, born, raised, and educated in the city, and had opportunities, and they took them, and it's paid off for them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you again.
my pleasure.
All right.
Skylark, have you anything to say to me? Won't you tell me where my love can be? Is there a meadow in the mist where someone's waiting to be kissed? Skylark, have you seen a valley green with spring, where my heart can go journeying over the shadows and the rain to a blossom-covered lane? And in your lonely flight, haven't you heard the music in the night? Wonderful music, faint as a will-o'-the-wisp, crazy as a loon, sad as a gypsy, serenading the moon. Skylark, I don't know if you can find these things, but my heart is riding on your wings. So if you see them anywhere, won't you meet me